Hi, I'm Ben Ferguson, and welcome to your AMAC Weekly News. First up this week, the trade war with China is a major topic of discussion for the majority of Americans. Even though many are worried about what this is going to do to our economy, President Trump has said you don't need to worry. In fact, he said China is hurting far more than we are, and he says a deal is coming soon. I'll break all this down for you in just a moment. Next, Beto O'Rourke received a question about the importance of life 24 hours before an actual birth. The way he answered the question is going to shock you, and we have that moment for you, and we'll play it in just a minute. And finally, President Trump has a new contender for the 2020 Republican nomination for the White House. Now, this candidate has a lot of baggage behind him, including a wide range of extremely racist comments on his own radio show and on Twitter. All of that in just a moment. Quick reminder, though, make sure that you share this with your friends on social media. And if you haven't joined AMAC or renewed your AMAC membership, do it now so you can continue to receive this new show and access to our amazing member benefits. You also get the incredible AMAC magazine. And most importantly, AMAC represents you and almost 2 million other conservatives on Capitol Hill every day. So make sure you join or renew your membership today. Your AMAC Weekly News starts right now. For years, the American people and politicians have been calling out China for what they've been doing with trade in this country. Well, for far too long, everybody's been talking about how something needs to be done. Yet now, you actually have a president that's wanting to do exactly that. Not allow China to take advantage of the global economy and America's economy. So the president is actually doing more than just talking. And now liberals are jumping on him, saying he is somehow destroying America. The president defended his handling of the trade war with China at a press conference on the sidelines of the G7 summit. Donald Trump was very clear that he trusts China is sincere in making a new trade deal. Just listen to this from a press conference that aired on C-SPAN.
I think they want to make a deal very badly. I think that was elevated last night, very late in the night. I see an alert, or as you would call it, breaking news. And it was that the vice chairman, we're not talking about somebody from China at a low level, the vice chairman of China came out that he wants to see a deal made.
Now, the facts are we're seeing China experience a serious hit with the tariffs, which is why they're trying to hit back against America. According to President Trump in the same press conference, China has already lost 3 million jobs, and he believes the country will soon break. Now, the president is stepping up against China in a way that no other president in history has really done before when it comes to this issue of trade. And the Trump administration has made it very clear they're not going to back down on this issue. Now, if we as Americans want to make sure that China cannot take advantage of our country anymore, then clearly we need to stand up against them. The president is right to act right now, not just talk like many presidents have before, but actually follow through. And it's clear he's willing to actually change the way business is done. And in the long run, this is going to be extremely beneficial for all Americans, especially American workers. There's one thing that we've consistently seen in the Democratic field for the White House. Candidates continuing to move further and further to the left, trying to outdo one another. Yet one candidate this week decided to take it a step further in a way that he answered a question that was so personal it even shocked me. I'm talking about Democratic presidential candidate Beto O'Rourke. He was asked by a man at a rally whether or not he, as an individual, should have been aborted. Even more shocking than that, the man asked if he even had value the day prior to his actual birth. Well, listen to what O'Rourke had to say in response to this in a video that aired on ABC News.
And someone asked you specifically about third trimester abortions, and you said that it's a decision left up to the mother. So my question is this. I was born September 8th, 1989, and I want to know if you think on September 7th, 1989, my life had no value.
Of course I don't think that, and of course I'm glad that you're here. But you referenced my answer in Ohio, and it remains the same. This is a decision that neither you, nor I, nor the United States government should be making. That's a decision for the woman to make. We want her to have the best possible access to care and to a medical provider, and I'll tell you the consequence of this attack on women's right to choose. And I listened to you, and I heard your question. I'm answering it. And the attack on Roe versus Wade, which we thought was the settled law of the land.
Now, not only did Beto not answer the question, he carried on to talk about how wrong it is to stop women from killing their unborn children. Beto also contradicted himself in his own answer. He said that the United States government shouldn't have the power to make the life or death decision of the unborn child because that supposedly belongs only and exclusively to the mother. Now, regardless of what liberals and the media are trying to sell us, the U.S. government is actually in place to protect the life and the liberty of all U.S. citizens. That includes the unborn. Just like all other liberals, his ideology is not only extreme, it's severely flawed and absent of any moral fibers because he wants the money, I guess, from groups like Planned Parenthood. Now, Beto isn't the only one making ridiculous comments on the campaign trail. This week, Senator Elizabeth Warren released a new campaign video that you'll have to see to believe for yourself. Just watch part of this new campaign ad actually attacking American businesses.
There are a lot of giant companies who like to call themselves American. But face it, they have no loyalty or allegiance to America. Levi's blue jeans, only 2% of their factories are here in America. The maker of the famous No. 2 pencil, they make most of those pencils in China and Mexico. And General Electric, they recently shipped jobs from Wisconsin across the border to Canada. The truth is that these American companies have only one real loyalty, and that's to their shareholders, a third of whom are foreign investors. If they can close up an American factory and ship jobs overseas to save a nickel, that is exactly what they'll do, hollowing out American cities along the way. We'll create a new federal agency, the Department of Economic Development, to replace the Commerce Department and a handful of other federal agencies. We'll pull them all together, and this new agency will have a single mission: defend and create American jobs.
Now, one of President Trump's primary focal points is to bring more American jobs and bring back companies to America. With liberal policies like Elizabeth Warren's, we'll see fewer jobs, we'll see fewer companies in America, and most importantly, I guess to her, greater government control of the entire business sector. Now, rather than encouraging economic stability, Warren wants to create another agency so the government has even more power than they do right now. It's policies and ideologies like those of both O'Rourke and Warren that will clearly tear this country down. This is why it's so important for patriotic Americans like yourself to stand up and make your voice heard. Now, AMAC is here to make sure that that happens every day on these types of issues on Capitol Hill. So just when you think the presidential race isn't crazy enough, another person enters the ring. This time, the candidate decided to enter under the Republican Party. I'm talking about former Illinois Congressman Joe Walsh announced this week that he will be challenging Donald Trump, even though he used to be a staunch supporter of the president. In fact, Walsh went so far as to actually apologize for supposedly helping to create Trump. Listen to this from an interview with Walsh on ABC.
I helped create Trump. And George, that's not an easy thing to say. And it's difficult, but I think that helped create Trump. And I feel responsible.
Not only does Walsh apparently feel the need to apologize for the president, but he is also facing his own problems. Actual backlash from many racist comments that he's made over the years. First, take a look at some of the things that he's tweeted. Back in 2014, Walsh was pulled off the air during his own radio show for using racial slurs. He also promoted the birther movement against former President Barack Obama, and said that Obama was only elected because he was black. Now, after being pulled off the air, Walsh tweeted, quote, "Just got kicked off the air until further notice. Tried to have honest discussion about racist terms and management censored my language." Now, if you fast forward a few years, Walsh responded to a tweet by Angela Rye on Twitter that criticized him. He wrote, "You're way wrong on your main point, Angela. We lowered the bar for Obama. He was held to a lower standard because he was black." Now, he also tweeted out about Kamala Harris in August of 2017. Let me read you this tweet that, of course, he later deleted. Quote, "Senator Kamala Harris said something really dumb. If you're black and a woman, you can say dumb things. Lowered bar." Now, Walsh is now attempting to backtrack on all of this by literally saying during an interview on MSNBC that he said racist things, but he's not a racist. Take a listen to this.
And I wouldn't call myself a racist, but I would say, John, I've said racist things on Twitter. There's no doubt about it.
Now, let's be very clear about what's going on here. Walsh is nothing more than an opportunist who realized that there was a huge opportunity for fame and, yes, a lot of money if you're a former GOP congressman coming out against Donald Trump. He knew the media would love on him, and he knew that he would have a platform to then attack Donald Trump because he's being used, but he's using the media as well at the same time. And all this is exactly what's happening before our very eyes. He's everywhere, and the left is loving all over him like a new baby kitten. Now, the sad part is he's going to make millions of dollars attacking President Trump. He's going to end up getting a book deal, a lot of speaking engagements. And after Trump beats him in the primary, he'll probably end up even getting a TV deal to continue to be a Republican that's attacking Donald Trump. Look, the bottom line is there is really big money for anyone who is, quote, a conservative that's willing to sell out to attack Donald Trump. And there are networks waiting to hire anyone who has GOP credentials who want to sell out for a quick payday. I say all this to warn you that Walsh might not be the last opportunist to try to cash in on the anti-Trump money that is readily available. I'll leave it at that. That's it for this edition of your AMAC Weekly News. Be sure to share this video with your friends on social media. And most importantly, if you haven't joined AMAC or renewed your AMAC membership, do it now so you can continue to receive this new show and access to our amazing member benefits. You also get our AMAC magazine, and most importantly, AMAC represents you and almost 2 million other conservatives on Capitol Hill every day. So make sure you join or renew today. I'm Ben Ferguson, and I'll see you back next week for our next episode.